So what's up? What's going on, people?
What's going on, Jack?
We're in the building.
Yeah.
As you guys can see, we got the one and only Mr. Pompano Puff in the building.
You already know, man.
We kicking it off. You know, this is one of one. The very first episode, you get what I'm saying? I'm not sure when this one's gonna air, but it was a must. I sit down and talk to home team. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is family. We go all the way back,
Way
representing Pompano. You get what I'm saying? So right now we in Cali. You get what I'm saying? I'm not even sure what city we in.
We downtown LA.
Okay, we downtown.
We downtown LA.
Downtown. I should have known with all the traffic coming down.
Right.
But yeah, I had to slide up on family, you know, just to, you know, get a couple words in, see what's going on, because you know, I know you're always working, homie.
Right,
you get
right,
what I'm saying? You're
right.
always moving around.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I just wanted
Just
to
like
see.
you.
Yeah. You know, we got to make it happen. I guess
Right.
it just runs. It's in the family.
Right.
But like I said, you know, I was just pulling up on you. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the scoop. Basically, you know what the podcast is about is. We're just talking to different people from different walks of life,
Right.
just to see, you know, what's been going on with them. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And I know
Yeah.
you're into the music and art scene and the whole nine.
So
So I just want to know, you know, well, first of all, before we go that deep,
yeah.
why don't you just introduce yourself and tell the people who Pompano Puff, aka Steve, is? Basically.
You know, Pompano Puff, music producer.
Good people.
Music producer, you know, I produce records for, you know, of course, you know, one that got me stamped as that nigga and Pompano was the SKRILLA for KODAK. You know, always will be proud of that record. You know, I produced for Nicki Minaj, T.I., you know, I've worked with Queen Herbie, who else? Rocky Fresh, numerous of artists, man. A lot of artists to name.
Yeah, them some heavyweights you just threw.
Grammy nominated.
Hey, you know, I wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
but you know,
but,
that's dope.
I've
though.
you know, I've made my rounds, still trying to get to a point where I need to be, where I want to be, because you know, I you know, the ambition in me just makes me go harder. But yeah, you know, that's what people would know me for, or would not know me for, like, because a lot of people that I went to school with, grew up with, they just didn't know I was really into the music.
Right. I mean, I didn't even know.
Right.
I just started seeing you popping up, like.
Yeah,
you
it was
know.
something. It was something that, like, if you're a family member, a close family member, you would know.
Right.
But like, it was something that I hid from the world. I want to say I hid, but it's just like I was always trying to, like, because I spent more than like 5 or 10 years. You know us, how we grew up with first generation. So some of the information isn't as open to us to say we was growing up in Atlanta, New York, and LA. Like, there's nobody older than us that we know that makes beats.
Right. So
there's nobody we know who's a cameraman.
Right.
We're like the first ones out of everybody doing it.
Right.
So it was like I spent like 10 years, because I knew I wanted to be a music producer since I was 11.
Right.
I spent like 10 years trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna make my first beat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I mean, being that you said, you know, growing up in Pompano, you didn't physically see people that were making beats and doing these different things. So, what was your inspiration? Like, what you said at 11 years old, that's when your passion, you know, started to kick in.
Right.
So, what triggered that in you? What did you see?
I think it was the culture of Pompano, and seeing what like Puff was doing. His name Pompano Puff.
Right.
Puff was taking like his culture, like what they were doing in New York City at the time, and putting it on main stage. I knew since a kid that whatever was going on in the Noya, the world needed to see that shit.
Right.
Because I knew like this wasn't going on. Like, the dynamic of like black people speaking a different language, but dressing like we from America, plus the Americans, like that whole mixture, I knew that wasn't going on anywhere else in America. And I just was somebody who wanted to like be a part of whoever to put our culture on the forefront of the entertainment culture or hip hop culture, whatever. I knew that our culture was rich,
right?
From like being in Pompano and also like the Haitian culture too, like,
right.
Like,
so it's just a mixture.
It's just a mixture of all of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't forget, as much I'm representing Haitian, I'm a Zozo, but the Black American culture, in South Florida is bar none. Like, I don't think a lot of people fucking with that. Man.
But I think that's what you know, makes the culture itself what it is. It's the mixing of the different cultures.
The mixing of it.
Yeah, it's like a big gumbo. So
So
speaking of the whole culture in Pompano and the whole nine, and you mentioned one of the tracks people might know you for is the Skrilla track with KODAK. Can you tell us a little bit how that came about? You know, you guys recording that? Did you guys work together first of all?
So if nobody knows the story, you know, KODAK has a song called Perp dedicated to my brother. My brother was, you know, Cheesy Perp. He was on, you know, I want to say big in the streets or whatever.
Of course.
He was that guy, you know, and he had I don't know if he had a KODAK officially signed, but I remember before he passed, KODAK was around him a lot. And he was like, yo, this is my little artist, man. Them my little artist. Them my little artist. So I remember him just in passing. And after my brother died, I guess, you know, AD, who, you know, who's the CEO of Dollars and Deals, picked him up. Because I remember, you know, around that time, Coley and Dirty was blowing up.
And them was making.
And my brother was really on Coley and Dirty. Heck, my brother, the Coleones, my brother was really the head of that. He was really the head of that. So I just remember AD was trying to be a part of that at that time.
I have some footage of that I might just put up, let you guys check some of that out.
So I needed to be around information, so I moved out here to be around the information on the music industry, which, you know, I end up getting a lot of. I was on World Star Hip Hop one day. One thing about me, a lot of people don't know, is that if you from Broward, Pompano specifically, if you ever dropped a mixtape, if you ever dropped a song, if you ever did a video,
you got it.
I listened and I got it. That's just the information that I'm gonna give to anybody out there who watching this. If you from Broward, but especially if you're from Pompano, you drop anything, I'm listening. And I seen I think it was what's it called, fourth quarter, like Rebirth of Louis Scott, Machiavelli.
Yeah.
He dropped that shit, and I was like, oh, I gotta go back home and work with him. So I'm hitting my phone.
That track had the streets. That's when he started really cranking.
So I hit my brother up, got the news on, like, okay, who's KODAK? He was like, oh, you don't remember Legit? Perp used to. I was like, okay. So I hit IB up. IB is my cousin. And IB, as you know, knows everybody in the city.
You know, moving around in the clubs.
So I hit IB up. I'm like, yo, I need a record with this nigga. I need to get in the studio. I'm coming home. It was like mid-July. It's like, I'm coming home. So I get home, no session is set up yet. So I'm like, yo. I've been there like 2 days. I have no session with him. So, you know me, I'm the type of person, if anybody knows me, I'm a shit talker. I'm going to talk shit. And I'm going to get, you know, I'm a competitor, so I want to try to pull the best out of somebody. So we was at a Young Thug concert at like Club Volt. And then I go into the bathroom and I see KODAK. And I'm like, yo.
Perfect time.
I'm pumping on. I'm like, yo, this me, bro. Yo, I'm Perp brother. Like, bro, I'm like, bro, I got a hit for you. I'm like, then I was like, yo, AD, go fuck you up, because he ain't put me in the studio, which I'm drunk, I'm talking shit.
You just letting it all
I'm just talking shit, bro.
Right.
So, like, he like, you know, he just sit there with a smile like, yeah.
Shit, all he probably had heard was this Perp brother. That's all he had to hear. You feel me?
So the next day, AD calls me. And this is, after this, I always say, yo, AD, one of the realest niggas ever.
Shout out AD.
AD calls me. AD like, yo, studio session, 8 o'clock, over here, be there. You better have hits. I was like, all right. Before we hung up, he was like, hey, what that shit you were telling KODAK in the bathroom?
So, must have went back and told him, nigga cornered me in the
bathroom. So I was like, okay. I was like, nah. I said, yo, I got a hit record for him. I'm like, Mom, what's up? He's like, all right, you better bring a hit. But I like the way he just checked me. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking with that. You feel me? That's the energy that I love.
That's what's
so
up.
Like, we get into the studio. I'm trying to make a beat in front of him, and AD just like, man, just play some beats. So we playing beats. And I can't credit everything to myself. The beat was already done, but I'm just going through beats. And if anybody who's ever been in the studio with KODAK wants your, like, obscurest, like, the shit that you really ain't. Like, if you think he gonna sound good on it, he don't want that.
He wants something totally left of what you may think.
Yeah. He wants something that you probably ain't even finished, bro.
Right.
On some real shit, on some G shit. That's. And so we hear the beat, I skip it, KODAK don't budge, AD was like, yo, stop that. And he was like, go back. I was like, nah, I ain't want to play the beat. He plays it, and he's like, yo, load that up. Kodak, do this record.
Right.
Kodak walks in the booth.
So hold on, not to cut you off. So AD is the one who decided
AD
on that beat.
picked the beat because it was a beat. It was nothing.
It was
that
like
I thought
a throwaway, but
okay. AD picked the beat, made him, and he was like, yo, Kodak, do that.
Right.
I go in the back and finally have like this because I always been wanting to talk and meet AD because AD was around the city as a music guy. He's a record guy.
Right.
I wanted to be, I'm a record guy, so I always wanted to talk to AD. Plus, he had success with Ace Hood prior, and all of that. So, he was managing 4/5 at the time. Rest in peace to 4/5. Somebody I was working with closely that I was planning on interning with before he died as well.
Right. Rest in peace, 4/5.
So I go in the back and I'm talking to AD. We're having like this intimate conversation about this music industry, everything that he been through, because AD's been through a lot.
Right.
So it's like 20 minutes goes by. I go back and check in the room, and Kodak's recording a whole nother song.